What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 5 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Aranessa Saltspite campaign. So as we saw last time, Aranessa and more importantly Queen Bess made her glorious debut, destroying many a southern realmer and dropping many a ton of ammunition on their head. Now this was certainly a big power spike for Aranessa's army, and the power spikes will continue as she gets new units on the field, like these man-eaters with ogre pistols that she buffs fairly nicely. In addition to that, by destroying the army of the Boys of the Forbidden Coast, Madeline Vole here acquired our first piece of 8, and I don't know where we'll acquire the second one, but I do believe there is one out here, so maybe it won't be too long before we get another. This time we'll be attacking Scalpake in a few seconds, but before we do, once again we were able to reach the threshold, so this episode will be an hour long, and the second threshold was reached as well. So this is the second bonus episode of this Saturday. The offer stands once again 400 likes and 50 comments, and the next episode will be an hour long as well. Alright, that's all I gotta say about that. Let's make sure we do what we need to, and then let's attack. Level up for you, Billy. You are, I guess, going to go for tenacity. Why not? Tenacity. Get a little bit of extra HP. It's quite valuable to these guys after all. Then we'll probably go through hard to hit. You, Jesse. You know what? I was going to get rid of Jesse before because I don't particularly like fleet-footed. But now we have Nessie, Jesse, and Bessie, so I think maybe we'll keep her around as well. Actually, you know what? Let's get a few names in here. Rotting Prometheans can be... Oh my lord, you guys have given me a lot of crabby names. Small Hermit Crabs for you. And let's do... how about you? Martin Jackson. Got a lot of hero names and stuff as well. How about Bootstrap? Not Jackson. And Bootstrap Biltong. There we go. Alright, I did say just a couple names, so a couple is good enough for now. I did not give Jessie her level, though, so let's get... I mean, I guess Kiss of the Deep? Yeah, we will be casting periodically. I don't actually care that much about Kiss of the Deep at the moment, because mostly we'll be using Denizens of the Deep, and it's a fairly rare spell. You know what? No, screw it. Get Kiss of the Deep, and then we'll get replenished troops after we win this battle, and presumably level up again. Aranessa, away you go. All hands away, I should say. And close victory, low casualties. We could actually auto-resolve it, minus the dead bats. But we'll fight it mostly because I want to see how we fare against the Tier 5 Ragnarok. And, oh, Doom Wheels are Tier 3 and not Tier 4. That's a little surprising. But nonetheless, Ragnarok, Doom Divers, some scary things here. Probably not scary enough, but let's find out. Alrighty, more Sleeb's Howlers, the weirdest mix of units that you can find among the rogue armies. So many different factions here, and all about to be blown up by Queen Bess. Once again, the irregular mortars herald the arrival of the biggin, and that's gonna be a lot of damage, taking about half HP from a unit of Plague Monk Sensor Bearers and clipping a few other units. In fact, I think that shot wasn't even aimed at the Sensor Bearers, but rather at the Doom Diver Catapult, which has lost about 33% of its HP, and I'm sure it'll be losing more. There we go, that's a direct hit from the Bess. And that Doom Diver Catapult is pretty much out of commission. Fantastic. The rest of the enemy army, of course, will be moving forward. We no longer need to target that Doom Diver, and we can target this one together with all of these other units moving forward. Alrighty, here come those mortar shells in the background, and let's see how they hit. A couple hits on some of the Doom Diver units, but I guess we'll have to leave it up to Queen Bess to do it for us. Where's the big hit? Now here it comes, and pretty much dead center. Very, very nice, and this Doom Diver's down to half HP. One more hit should do it. In the meantime, we've got the enemy army moving in. We have a very nice position set up. We're firing from atop this hill here, and our deck gunners should, in theory, be able to fire down on the enemy as they get closer. This one might actually... this hill might interfere with the shots from this one, but I guess we'll see. We also are going to be able to test out our Ogre Man-Eaters, or Man-Eaters with Ogre pistols, rather. See how effective they can be. Unfortunately, there's a couple big targets that these guys should be fairly adept at dealing with. The Doomwheel and the Arachnarok, and to be specific. And that is a very, very slow-moving Doomwheel. Looks like the AI is trying to have the units all keep pace with each other. Also, the range on the Ogre pistols is quite big, so we can move them a little bit and then start firing on that Doomwheel. Alrighty, all the while the enemy continues to approach under bombardment. Looking like this is gonna be pretty ugly for these guys. Oh, and the first shots come in from the Ogre pistols, hitting that Doomwheel and dropping about 20% of its HP. Hard to say how many of the shots actually landed, but let's see a full volley. And there we go, that's a nice full volley, and now it's down to below half HP. Oh, this thing's going down, damn. I didn't think these guys would be able to snipe a Doomwheel so quickly and easily, but I'm pretty impressed already, and happy with that result. Queen Bess continuing to do damage in the background, another hit to a Plague Monk Sensor Bearer unit which basically got destroyed. And by that shot, we're taking a few shots ourselves from the enemy Night Goblin Archers, but they've lost their Doomwheel, and now we can back the Ogre pistols off. Just so that they don't take too much additional damage. And in addition to that, we can use them to fire upon the Arachnarok from a distance. They have ammo to use it after all. There's the Spearfisher's Net coming down on the big Crabby. Or wait, that's not a big Crabby. I got too used to Rotting Leviathans. Spider. Although I suppose if we have Ogre allies, no, Orc allies, and we could try to combine Rotting Leviathans with the Arachnaroks. Anyway, the rest of our units are moving in. Looks like the enemy is going to get a couple volleys off from those Poison Wind Globadiers, but we do manage to back off in time before the small Hermit Crabs take any real damage. The 88 caliber magic pistols are dealing quite a bit of damage, 34 kills so far and 7.4k damage, and by the looks of it, the Arachnarok is nearly out as well, also having achieved pretty much nothing. Alright. There we go. It's done. I'm very happy with the Ogre pistols, and that's only with 2. Granted, we've been using the Sartosa Militia, the Tier 1 units, so it's hardly surprising that even a little bit of an upgrade makes for a pretty big difference in power spike. But nonetheless. Anyway, we've got our Crabby Boys fighting, and then we can just continue summoning Crabby Boys now. It's a very nice summonable unit in the sense that I don't think it ever dies before it simply runs out of time. Anyway, over on this flank we are kiting a unit of Plague Monk Sensor Bearers around. They keep trying to catch our Sartosa Militia, but moving at about the same speed means that they will never catch them, especially as they get staggered by the explosive shots from our deck gunners and any other units of Sartosa Militia. And very, very nice. In a melee, the Sensor Bearers would probably, in fact, no probably about it, they would rip those Sartosans apart, but they just can't get into melee, so that's their problem. Alrighty, just a few enemies left. In fact, the enemy army has shattered. There is a Grail Relic about to go down, and down it goes. And just a matter of destroying the last of the enemy Sensor Bearers that are unbreakable. Very nice. Easy little battle that went very well, and to be fair, we expected this one to be easy, but it was certainly a great showing for the first time for the Ogre Man-Eaters. expecting great things from them as we go through the campaign, though of course we'll still have the undead be the stars of the show. Anyway, a little bit of chasing to do, but the rest off screen. Alright, very nice. 9 units lost, and Queen Bess once again doing the work of about a half an army herself. And not surprisingly though, also a very nice debut for our man-eaters, the 88 caliber magic pistols in particular doing 10k damage and over 1700 damage dealt as gold value. Why the 2 units of man-eaters with ogre pistols knocked out the doom wheel with no trouble before it could do anything, and then followed up by knocking out that Ragnarok spider. Alright, definitely gonna get a couple more of these at least in Aranessa's army. We also got ourselves a Hold Banner of Militia. Reload time reduction in ammunition. Are we able to put this on Bess? We are able to put this on Bess. Oh my. Well, that's just disgusting. I pity anyone who has to stand against that artillery piece. We are going to ransom captives because it's pretty much pointless to assimilate as we have the entirety of the this territory, which is ours to travel, so we're good. Stance Parlay still, I think? And there's no reason not to. Go Parlay. And oh, I should have leached XP. Ah, whatever. Not a big deal. Not for this tiny one. And a Banner of Swiftness. Huh. And we can put it on a Rotting Leviathan, or maybe on the Morngull Hunter. Actually, maybe not. I don't know. We will not share the loot. I guess ransom the captives. The options weren't that good there. You, do you have perfect vigor? You have vigorous, don't you? When you're out of melee, your vigor comes back, but considering you're always fighting, we might want to give you the vigor buff. Anyway, more Sleeves Howlers rather destroyed. Nessa, you're gonna move to Orfarafa, or towards Orfarafa, I guess. Do you need to be in camp stance or to build these? I'm just going to assume that you are. Go to Orfarafa next. But also build up your swordfish. Alright, so we'll start with the captain's cabin. We cannot build the barb launcher, unfortunately, as we do not have the population, but oh well, we'll be okay. The rest of this can be ignored. I mean, wait, it's going up to tier 3, which would give us the ability to get the cargo hold, but really it's the cannons we want for both the army abilities and the Sartosa carronade, which are definitely going to be part of the army, and we want the Sartosa pirate mercs, but that's also tier 4, so a while until then. Harry Halfmast, you are going to move back now to Sartosa, wherein you will recruit your new army. Lovely. Alrighty, and you, who got the piece of 8, Maddie, you're going to move down to Guranti Mingle. We're going to take it and possibly, if we can, trade it to our friends. There are no units available to raise at sea. That seems unlikely. That seems unlucky. That didn't work very well, but yeah. Oh, I'm an idiot. Alrighty, well, the rest of that looks good to me, though our money is a little bit dire. And definitely gonna need to get some more, or find a rich area that we can raid for a while. Somewhere where we can get a lot of value. Anyway, skip outpost available, no. Skip a building upgrade, no, and then the turn. I hope I didn't forget anything, but whether I did or I didn't, it's too late to do anything about it now. What isn't too late, however, is as soon as the turn ends, we get to pick a new technology, because the previous thing will have finished, and we'll go for that seascape artist, something like that. The thing that gives us more movement range and more sea movement range as well. Yo. Tex. That is, it is seascape artist. Good job, Ruinous. I am impressed with myself for remembering that one, as it's unlikely. We also got to get Raise the Masses ASAP to get that growth per region +5 after winning a battle. But I think the movement range is going to probably be more valuable first. The further Aranessa can move, the better. As much as possible. So Seascape Artist first, other thing second. Nessa, you're gonna head to Rifarafa in a second, but we need to see a few other things. Harry, you're heading to Sartosa. We'll probably have a few buildings to build. River Riati, let's upgrade, re-upgrade I should say, Porto Maggiore, then... I guess we're gonna go for the Slave Pits at Mintopua. This place should be making about 2,000 gold. It's nothing crazy. But you know what? Let's start collecting income here at River Riati. It also isn't much, but we need it. Ooh, the public order ain't great, but it's due to the massive amount of provincial instability. We should be able to counteract it with a few of the public order buildings. And maybe collect and uncollect income a few times and it'll deal with itself. Yeah, damn that provincial instability, but oh well. Susuria Wood. I'm not sure that we want to invest in upgrading you right now, because you're not actually all that useful to us. We will, however, get the back alleys, because they give us income from all buildings adjacent provinces. I think it only counts you, because the road goes there, but I'm not 100% sure. Either way, we'll get it, and we'll see what else we can get. You, Maddie. I'm gonna need you to land a Granti Mingle right now. And do this. Maybe we can force them into a field battle. Are you able to get into Maddie's army in a single bound? I think not. I think it'll take 2 turns. Yeah, he can't land. Can you not land at all? Okay, you can land like that. Yeah, but you can't move into the army. Oh well. Alright, just in case the enemy attacks. Wait, what do we have here? It's nothing too problematic, to be perfectly honest. We'll probably raise some stuff. Let's raise a couple... Oh, it's expensive to raise troops here. Let's raise a couple of regular gunnery mobs. Like so. This is going to be a pretty gun-heavy army, after all. Should be good enough for now. And the rest will be Nessie. Nessie, you're going to go into Parley stance and hit Rifarafa and occupy it. Like so. Auto-resolve... Yeah, that's not worth fighting. Well, auto-resolve it will give you the Banner of Swiftness, like so. Damn, how dare you hurt the small hermit crabs? That's so rude. Occupy. Alrighty, enemy leadership reduction -2, always worth your time, and then here we can go immediately for, I guess, growth. Uncollect the income, let the territory grow. And this place has very negative public order now. How about here? Okay, we're at least okay in the plains of Lucini and Sartosa. We don't have the money to recruit with Herald yet, and in fact, we want to get rid of the bats? Yeah, they are relatively cheap. We hold on to them for a little bit. Alright. Also, is there any nearby treasure maps? You're fairly far, you're fairly far, you're fairly far. Yeah, until we can afford to send an army to sea. That's not something we can really deal with. We do want to invest in the Mutineers' Rest for the additional growth rate. And, ooh, I do also want to invest in the Sky Sail. Expensive though it may be. And we also should get that barb launcher. It is free infamy per turn, and we are going to be using it now to get techs, so certainly something to consider. Anyway, for now, unassign skill points, buildings, upgrades, etc. I will leave you here, and we'll see if the enemy is willing to sally out. I am not going to cause a Pyrrhic victory, though. Alright. And by auto-resolving, I mean end turn. We should also be trying to take a look at that Diplo, but I wanted to end the turn, so it's too late once again. But hey, moving turns forward isn't a bad thing. It'll allow us to get more unit variety onto the field sooner, as there's still a decent amount of units that we are missing. Alright, and trait gained. Creator for Aranessa, Seascape Artist, yes. Technology researched, Treasury Infamy. Their army disappeared. Oh, attrition killed them. Oh, fascinating. I didn't know that could happen. Occupy. It seems like it's level 0. We could raise it for free 500 infamy. And then re-recruit it. Yeah, but then reoccupying it will cost about 2,000 gold. Is 2,000 gold worth 500 infamy in the early game? I don't know. Maybe. It might be. It'll mean another tech that we can research. But it'll also mean a turn that we have to skip with Maddie, and what, you know what, what if Wurzag is nearby and takes us? No, you know what, let's not risk it. They're just occupied. Occupied, sit there, and you're still out here. And we are going to try to trade this thing to Wurzag for a defensive alliance if we can make it happen. And that'll be quite nice. And oh, these guys have a full province now. Oh damn, if they take Argalis, that might be unfortunate because I wanted to take some of these territories, but we can always betray them later once again. It's fine. It's fine. Meat markets, all the meat markets we can get. We should also probably build either the Midnight Gambling Den, or port income, or the hidden fences, which will give us income from all buildings for adjacent provinces. This will only apply to you, though, River Riati, unless we get this. It's not that worth it. Maybe the control out of the Midnight Gambling Den is more worth it. I don't know. I'm going to leave it alone for now because I don't think it's worth the cash expenditure right now. Let's see what else we gotta build and then let's move on. In fact, we don't gotta build anything else. Are you, Aranessa, able to reach Stiani? You are not. Okay, that's fine. You are then going to go... How's your troops looking? A little bit damaged, but not so bad. Go right here. Go into raiding stance. I imagine they don't have a full stack here. Doesn't look like it. Raid. 725? Not nothing. And we'll take one of these territories next. Fantastic. Harry, stay here for a few turns until I'm ready for you. And, oh, damn, Aranessa might have actually been able to reach Ramos. I forgot to put the ancillary in here. Seascape Artist for you. Oh, well. I also want to pick the next tech, which is going to be raise the masses for the additional growth. Then we'll want to get Unliving Reflexes ASAP and Unliving Labor Force. Melee defense +8 for basically every zombie unit. We got reductions, we got missile resistance. There's a lot of decent stuff here. Quartermaster does what again? A rating +50%. Oh, that ain't bad either. And control +2 out of Dominion over Mortals. Yeah, we'll be getting a bunch of stuff in this. I mean, we'll be getting all the techs, obviously, but... and there's a bunch of useful stuff right here. Anyway, skip, and end the turn. Maddie, do you need to raise anything else? I would like to replace the zombie-powered deckhands mob with another gunnery mob or something, but we could also wait until it dies to not spend additional money. End the turn. We need more cash, after all. And then maybe we can go find something to raid. Bloody Hands looking pretty strong still. I mean, considering they were the #1 strength faction, that shouldn't be surprising. Anybody willing to attack us right now?
I'm ready to cast off.
What do you want? Oh, you want us to join war against these jerks? Not right now. Alright, and that little army is just out of range. Well, aren't you clever? Let's see, just to double check, we head out? No, we still can't reach them. Oh well. Let's head to this island then. And do a quick little auto-resolve, and I probably should have leveled these guys first, but it's too late now. And no, we don't need to. Barrels of rum for you. Wax sealed rations, upkeep reduction, and free cash. And 7,000 additional yield. Yeah, this is why we wanted an army at sea. As for Granty Mingol, you. Trade, Granty Mingol. Yes, you will do a defensive alliance. I like it. I like it very much, Wurzag, thank you. And this will also give us a vision of the Badlands. I hope we have not thrown in our lot with the wrong faction. Ooh, Ekrund. Ekrund looks to be in trouble. Oh, getting a little bit of lag. As in a little bit of freezing here. Is that going to continue, or is it just in the Badlands? No, it's everywhere. Okay, you know what? I am going to make a cut here. Sometimes the game shows signs that it's going to crash soon. I think this is one of those signs, so let me just restart it. I was completely right. As soon as I went to save the game, just after I had saved, it crashed. Yeah, I think I've played this game long enough to know when it starts showing signs of freaking out and being ready to crash, and that was certainly one of them. Fortunately, we managed to stay, or at least I managed to stave off the having to re-record the entire episode, as that would have been very irritating. Anyway. Crisis averted. Anyway, let's pick our new tech, or whatever it was we were doing before I restarted. My memory don't last 2 minutes, after all. I believe I was gonna go for either Unliving Reflexes. Ooh. You know what, let's start with Unliving Labor Force for the construction time reduction. Faster buildings will mean more stuff. Faster. Yes. Remos, what do we have in terms of defenses here? Basically nothing. In fact, looks like Stiani has identical or better defenses. You are going to switch to Parlay Stance. We're going to get you some level ups, and we're going to head on in. Let's start moving through All Hands Away, actually. I think through the red line. I mean, we could keep making Aranessa a fighter, and we will. But I think I'd like to get a Vasti and All Hands Away. Even if it won't apply to... Well, yeah, I don't like the fact that it won't apply to most of these units, though. And for now... Oh! Blackpowder Overload does apply to Queen Bess? Okay, no. We gotta max out Queen Bess. It's a matter of principle, people. It absolutely is. Alright, Blackpowder Overload at least, and then we'll see what else we can do. Let's get another point for PD here. You have the utility built. The Shark Bait I don't really care about because the melee defense is unlikely to ever be used on you. It's not because you're probably not going to be in melee a lot. Missile Strength for Artillery, or Ammunition for everybody. Let's go Missile Strength for Artillery first, and other stuff after. Yeah. Alrighty, Billy Butler. You are still going to go for Tenacity, I think. All the HP on you, if you please. And lastly, Jesse. Let's max out Replenish Troops. There will be plenty of stuff for time for other stuff later. Away we go to Ramos, and oh, these guys have multiple settlements. I thought they just had the one province, but apparently not. Pyrrhic Victory, but let's face it, this is not worth fighting. And this is why we got that Replenish Troops, because we can heal right up. Occupy. A new treasure map is found. Let's hope it's close by. We do not need the deckhands whatever here. And oh, there is an army sort of nearby. We will have to keep an eye on it. Alright, I want to check something. We're actually healing quite nicely, okay. We're fine, or we will be fine. Let's just hope we don't get attacked while we're hurt like that. Anyway, we are also going to build and upgrade some stuff. Maddie, you've moved. Oh, Nessie was the last one who had to move. And then I guess we build buildings. Plains of Lucchini, we are not going to upgrade you because you're too costly right now. River Riati, however, is a different story. Horde of Booty and Midnight Gambling Den. Need to steal some Bretonian brothels as well, as that would round out our infrastructure. We could go for the Pirate Gallows for growth here. The Hidden Fences may also be a decent idea in this entire province to buff up all the other nearby provinces. And I think that's probably the well, then again, growth first, questions later. We also need pirate fortresses everywhere because at tier 5 they give us a increase of hero capacity of all heroes, so everywhere these have to be built. I don't think anything else does anything for us faction-wide, unless I'm mistaken. Well, the Blackpowder Depot at least does give us the Norse Roar ability for our armies in the region. Oh, it's only in the region. I thought it would be province. Kinda meh. This doesn't do anything faction-wide. I just want to check right now. We will need various types of unit capacities, don't get me wrong, but infrastructure is more important for now. Let's go with growth first. Tree and Noose for you. And speaking of trees, fine, we'll upgrade the Dead Pirates holdout here as well. I won't be happy about it. And we'll hold off on the lynching post, but I think we can upgrade the secret tunnels as they will pay for themselves by buffing up nearby provinces. Alright. Ratab Dynasty has been found. I'm not sure we'll bother keeping them alive here, unless they're in a single territory. As in not part of any other territories, we'll see. No trade agreements available, and no other diplo of consequence, which means another end turn has come upon us. Skip, 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 and skip, and... yes. End turn. Let's see if anybody will declare war on us. I mean, it's inevitable that somebody will, but at what time? Also, we just need to skip ahead enough in terms of turns so that we can get enough money to get our third army up and running and just start sailing around, up and down the coast, getting all the islands they can. Alright, we have Mission Successful, Research a Text, Talisman of Preservation, and Bloodied Banner of Slayers. It's the Talisman of Preservation we care about the most. There's that construction time reduction. And we are now moving into Unliving Reflexes. Once again, some great stuff in here, great stuff. Probably want to get that Marine's Upkeep thing up and running as well. And then maybe we start saving a little bit of infamy to get the Admiral's Astrolabes, to get one of the scary Admirals. Dread Admiral gives you range bonus, so that'll be our big ranged army, all ranged army. This one's weapon strength and physical resistance. Could be a good monstrous army. Infamous Admiral has... meh. Nothing all crazy useful, and you have just recruiting bonuses. Which is also neat. But it also means that we could essentially do anything with you as we're not pigeonholed by the buffs that you come with, so that's just fine. Alrighty, Nessie, you're about to move in a second, although I fear... oh, Ruinous Island. I fear that she won't be able to auto-resolve because these guys are damaged. I'm kind of tempted to go into March Stance, pick up the Mysterious Island, and then return. See if we can. Oh, I should have... nah, whatever. I should have immediately hit it out of Remas and then back in. Power of Rage. Army will perform better in battle. A Lichbone Pennant. Glorious pickup. And then go right here to the edge of the sea. And you should still be able to hit one of these. Okay, that was worth our time. The Frenzy I don't really care about as much because it's not as useful in her army, but the Lichbone Pennant is nice, and they gave us another 7,000 gold. Too bad we can't build one of these things right now, but oh well. We're still okay. Maddie. Yeah, this guy's gone. He's gone. That's okay. Granty Mingle has been traded. I see no other islands out here. You're gonna need a few more troop types before we do anything with you. I'm wondering whether we should land here somewhere and just annoy these guys. For example, the Cult of Sigmar, who really does not like us. I wonder who they're fighting with currently. They are fighting the Scabby Eye. I'm willing to bet quite a bit that they will inevitably get into conflict with the Bloody Hands. Who appear to still be fine, but their strength rank is down to 16, meaning they likely have lost an army or two, or possibly, probably, became weaker by virtue of the fact that we allied with them, as that tends to happen. Anyway, let's start moving Maddie down here. And this coastline at least is safe. And we do have these guys blocking anybody from coming down this way. Keep an eye on this, maybe raid some. Do a little raiding. Alright, and buildings again. Looks like we'll be passing a fair few turns. Let us upgrade you first. Port Majeure, simply because you have the salt pans, and we want those up and running. Susuria Wood I'm gonna ignore, but Plains of Lucini, no, because we want those slave pits. And I am gonna ignore the pirate gallows because they're not worth our time. At least at the current time. Alright, I think we'll start with the hidden fences first. What's the mileage out of the ports here? I mean, they're making decent amounts of cash, but nothing crazy. I think we'll get more mileage out of the hidden fences and the income from all buildings adjacency bonus that they provide. So hidden fence, yes, I'm not building defenses, but generally in SFO I don't like to. Ramos, you can have, or you can start with, I think, growth. Actually, do we need a tree and noose at the main settlement? Or public order? Or plunder pile? Nah, still go growth. We need to grow fast. Gotta grow faster. And I'm using myself as I usually do. Anyway, I believe we're good to go. Yes, double check the Diplo again. Clan Treacherich, I fear, is dead. But it's not like we can trade with anybody new anyway. So it doesn't really concern us. Gotta get it up to over 3,000 gold, and then we can start recruiting again. And then, obviously, once we get badly hurt, we'll do the quest battle for Aranessa to get the rewards and turn. Alright, let's see what we can do about Stiani and Urbino. Actually, it would be nice if this entire army came here to help defend, as we could just destroy them all in a single bound. I'm also a little bit surprised that we have not yet encountered Skaven Blight or Clan Scryer. They're very close to us. And, ooh, something happened. I saw territorial change out here. What do we have here? Non-aggression pact with the Ramatep dynasty. I'm not sure about this yet. Maybe, maybe not. Might destroy you. We will ally with vampire counts, just maybe not these vampire counts. Ah, oh, unhappy populace. -5. This one hurts, but this one we can actually counteract with Aranessa's quest. So yes, I obey. And yeah, there goes Clan Treacherich. Blueface tribe destroyed. Bloody Hands are doing stuff. Let them continue doing said stuff. And yes, they did land at Urbino. Well, well, well. Urbimo, rather. That sounds like it's worthy of a fight. Land right there and attack. I mean, I guess we could have gone for Stiani first, but too late. Yes, we can go here. Beautiful. I want magical attacks on one of the deck gunners. That's going to come in real handy. And really, the auto-resolve wants to kill off our ogres and our rotting Prometheans, the hardiest units that we have. Much stronger and much more difficult to kill than the Sartosa militia. Okay, that's just weird. What are you doing, game? Why are you like this sometimes? I love you, but it's a complicated relationship. Anyway, Maddie, keep moving up the coast. Just make sure you don't get hit by Black Buckthorn, as his army is going to be a lot tougher than yours. Maybe this guy will try to attack you and die. I wouldn't mind fighting him again, but I also wouldn't mind finding a few more islands. Alright, well, before we fight, more buildings to be building. Secret tunnels, and oh, I didn't pick a tech. Okay, I'll pick up, we'll do it. 1 second. Ooh, Sartosa, you reached tier 4. Okay, yeah, we really need to do the quest for the extra money. Because we want to build a Smithy's Tavern as well. I mean, we'll build it right now. We'll build it right now anyway. And if we get the Dead Pirates Workshop, we'll get the Rotting Prometheans Gunnery mobs. We can also get the Sartosa Pirate Mercenaries. We can also get the Sartosa Carronades, though we have to make our choice as to what it is we actually build. Give it a few seconds. Or a few minutes while we do things. Acquire some loot in this manner first. Then, let's pick our techs. And I'm gonna say Marine Upkeep. Just for the upkeep reduction. It's 10%, it's not all of our units, but it's enough units to be worth our time. And we may you know what? Dominion over Mortals. Counteract the negative public order with additional public order, and then we'll go Marines upkeep. Even if we do need the money. And yeah, our infamy is dropping, but not to worry. It, well, it drops and then it rises again. Alright, blackpowder overload for buffing Queen Bess more? Or do we make Aranessa more fight? You know what, maybe we'll go through taunt. You know what, let's get Soffish Pegleg maxed out. I think Queen Bess is already so strong that it's not going to make a huge difference anyway, at least in these relatively early battles. Go for Scupperum. Artillery bonuses, and Fleet Captain, you can have Tide Call. get a little bit of damage if the enemy gets blobbed up around something. Alright, that looks good to me. We can't switch to Parlay Alas, but we can still do plenty of damage. Away we go. Should be a fun fight. Enemy has 3 artillery pieces too. Alrighty, this might be pretty interesting. On the one hand, the enemy has a massive pile of units, and they could very easily overwhelm us by sheer numbers of their stack into half, and the fact that once again most of our army is basic tier 1 Sartosans. On the other hand, we've got a couple of advantages. One, and the only one I guess that's going to matter here, is the fact that we have Queen Bess, and the enemy's numbers aren't quite as effective as they'd like to be when they're blobbed up. Two, our entire army at the current time is hidden. I've deployed everybody behind this hill, and the enemy can't actually see us. We wouldn't be able to see them either, but Mr. Billy Butler, who is in stock, is not visible by the enemy, and is spotting for the rest of our army. We can see them, and they can't see us, and on top of that, since we're using mortars and Queen Bess, we fire in a huge arc over the hill, and we don't really care about line of sight. Meaning we can hit the enemy army, they not only can't hit us back with their artillery or other units, but they don't even know where we are. And very, very nice. Right in the center of that army with that big blast, the great cannon and the mortars, the 2 out of the 3 enemy artillery pieces, will probably only take 1 more of those hits before they're destroyed. There we go. A little mini munitions spreading the damage, and those artillery pieces are pretty much done. AI, you really gotta stop milling around back here, because this is going to get very ugly very quickly. I suppose it really doesn't know what to do because it doesn't know where we are, and oh, it looks like the strike hit directly behind the camera. Enemies still milling around in confusion. There is another mortar to target, however, and we will switch to targeting it. Unfortunately, with the right no longer active, the regular mortars that we have can't reach the enemy army from this distance, because obviously they're a relatively short-range artillery, but nonetheless this should be more than sufficient. And another shot from Queen Bess comes in, and this is just horrific. Absolutely horrific. This army has been devastated already, and they still don't know where we are. The Queen Bess has 647 kills and nearly 100,000 damage. Oh, and there we go. It looks like the first of the enemy units are starting to move closer to us, or at the very least spreading out to try to look for us, because once again, they don't know where we are. Billy Butler's still watching them and spotting for us. And he really wants to get into combat, but he's gonna have to wait while the artillery continue to just disrupt this enemy for us. Disrupt and destroy, I should say. I prefer that to divide and conquer. Anyway, let's see what we've got left. I mean, they still have plenty of units left, and to be fair, other than the artillery, which all shattered, all of the units that got damaged are still willing to fight, and we will still have to deal with them. So the overwhelming numbers are still there, even if they are hurt. Though I guess we'll have to see how well they survive being hit by our ogre man-eaters. Or our man-eaters with ogre pistols, and our deck gunners as soon as they crest those hills and detect our army. Billy Butler is still hidden because he's difficult to spot, and our artillery continues to fire at the enemy. Huh. I wonder, can the AI dodge artillery shots when it doesn't know where the artillery is coming from? Let's see. It kinda looks, yeah, it is. It's trying to dodge it. Huh. So you're telling me that despite the fact that our artillery piece is hidden, the enemy can still see where the arcs are? Well, that's just the AI cheating, isn't it? I think it shouldn't be able to dodge if it can't see what's firing at it. I mean, generally speaking, the whole dodging thing is kind of silly anyway, but yeah, at least make the exception for when your unit is just literally invisible to the enemy. Anyway, enemy continues making their way up the hill a bit, and Billy's still hidden, but I do believe as soon as this unit of crossbows crests this hill, and they actually spot our army. So the battle will soon begin, though Queen Bess is already taken out, let's see, 908 of their troops. And it's just going to get uglier. Ooh, and another shot right into the meat or the center of their force. Looks like the crossbows are a little bit afraid to go too far forward, and for good reason, as the deck gunners can sight them and rip them apart. Looks like the crossbows are just going to try to back off, mortar hits and such. And the enemy's still not close enough to fight. Well, they do still have units on the field. We are at about 80% in our favor, maybe 75% in our favor. Alright, and a Denizens of the Deep gets summoned. There we go, some crabby boys to do some fighting and to take shots from our own mortars because we don't care about the summoned unit. There we go, pinch and pinch away at those pikes. All that anti-large won't matter against a summoned unit. Alright, how we doing back here? The deck gunners are firing away. It looks like a enemy unit of crossbows did spot our small hermit crabs. And the hermit crabs backed off a little bit just to force the enemy or draw the enemy forward into a better firing line for those deck gunners. Ogres with man-eaters? Ogre man-eaters with, or man-eaters with ogre pistols. Damn, I must have trouble with this unit's name. Charging forward now, firing as they move, which we really gotta appreciate, just like the rest of our Sartosan infantry. Some enemies try to close the distance with them, but get ripped apart by the pistols before they manage. And looks like we might get a little bit of melee on the ogres. Or just back off and or continue firing the ogre pistols. There we go, Sartosans charging in, getting a little bit of help from the small hermit crabs over on this flank here. But it looks like the balance of power is already about 90% in our favor, and the battle will soon be ours. And just chase them down. You gotta love infantry that can fire while moving, and those of you that watch my Karl Franz campaign know that I spent about half the campaign saying how much I love Free Company Militia, so it's nice to be able to use the Sartosan units in the same manner. Anyway, and just for fun, I decided to send the Ogre Man-Eaters into melee. They still had ammunition on their pistols, but you know. And they wanted to get stuck in as well. A little bit closer in where they can grab a snack. Alrighty, and it looks like those units that the ogres charge shatter, and in fact the entire army will shatter. These guys did get pretty much destroyed by the artillery. We'll check out Queen Bess's numbers after the battle is over. We also did manage to summon 2 units of Denizens of the Deep to hold off anybody that tried to make their way up this choke point, which worked out quite well for us. And I think the only one of our units that actually really got damaged was this unit of Sartosa Militia. They were out here on the flanks and had a quick little scuffle with the enemy. I want to say Outriders. Yeah. Pistoliers. No, Outriders. Okay. I thought it was Pistoliers by virtue of the symbol, but yeah, Outriders. And it looks like the Outriders are decent enough in melee to reasonably damage a unit of Sartosans, despite there being 2 units of Sartosans supporting each other. But once again, we gotta remember that these guys are tier 1 units. Anyway, let's see what Bess did to the enemy. Alrighty, 26 losses. I have to say that was horrific, horrifyingly effective. 1,500 kills and 184,000 damage on Queen Bess. Oh, beautiful. And we're gonna occupy it, obviously. Well done, Bessie. And no, I still don't see Skaven anywhere. Well, that's actually probably a good thing, as Miragliano can then be ours. And rather than leaving it to the enemy, we're probably gonna upgrade the Sky Sail right now. Actually, how many? 8 for the Sea Cabin. But as soon as we can get the Sea Cabin, we can retrofit our army in place by getting Sartosa pirate mercenaries. Nonetheless, I think the movement range is too valuable not to get, as this map is freaking huge. So, yeah. Alrighty. The rest of that looks good, and I believe we're ready to end the turn. We did not take any damage, and thus don't really need to do anything with regards to... Oh!
The winds blow true.
Huh. I'm wondering whether we should do the quest battle right now. No, you know what, actually, it's probably better to let the public order drop a little bit, so that we can counteract it when there's like 2 turns left of it, because it's a plus 25 per turn that we get, meaning basically all of our provinces will immediately become maxed out. And if that's the case, we're better off not doing it immediately. Alright, we can wait. It can be several turns worth of patient, as long as it doesn't take too many real Earth minutes. Anyway, Madeline, you're still not ready to go up to Fleet Secretary, and Harold Halfmaster still not ready to go up to here. I want the upkeep reduction out of the Fleet Secretary, though. Ooh, free campaign movement range ain't too bad either. There's a lot of potential nice stuff here. Ah! Lots of buffs for Depth Guard. Well, that'll be for our Depth Guard army, which we will have. Depth Guard army, Crabby army, Ogre army, both living and dead. We got a flying army to go. So many armies to try. Despite comparable roster sizes to other factions, I always find it a lot of fun to build a lot of different army types with the various vampire factions. For some reason, you can get a lot of variety with their units, mostly because they can play fairly differently from each other. Oh, and Sirens and Morngulls, of course. Lots of stuff to do. You want a peace treaty, but that ain't gonna happen. Are you gonna try to attack that settlement? You are not, and thus you will die. Alright, loyalty level low for who? Harry. Come on. Alright, well... We're gonna have to recruit some stuff. You get bonuses for recruiting, and we got more man-eaters, huh? Wait, I gotta figure this out. First of all, we don't yet have the dead parts kit. We need money, and we need a lot of it. For various... Ooh. Okay, we can destroy you, which we'll probably do in a second, which will also be worth money, but also so that we don't need to see you constantly. I don't see any other islands here, though. They may be fairly far between, interspersed and such. Yeah, look at all of this. There was one mysterious island here. Our sea armies are going to have to travel for quite a bit. Yeah, so what I was thinking about with regards to the recruiting is this. We have the Curse of the Seaman... No, we have the Curse of Eternal Servitude, which gives a minus 25% recruitment cost. Do we have zombie units to dredge the seas reduction? But nothing else causes a reduction, so the rest of this stuff is more or less ignorable. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. I feel like if we do the quest, we probably want to actually save it until next episode. Oh, I don't like that you're here either, because he might be able to retake Urbimo. Also, oh! Thorek is nearby. Well, that's fascinating. Currently at war with the Broken Nose and well established in these mountains. No doubt we are going to fight them. If we can take his territory, we could probably trade them all to Skaven, or to an Orc faction, or to Scrag if he's nearby, and then essentially use them as a huge mountain buffer with our territories. Keep taking all of the coastlines, and keep trading all of the mountainous territories to these factions that would be our allies. I think that should work quite well. That's the benefit of having the mountains here. If we can manage it. But anyway, the question is, what do we do with Aranessa? I'm going to just hope that Paolo can't reach her BMO, so we're gonna hit Stiani with Parlay Stance up, just for the little bit of extra cash. Obviously, auto-resolve this one. And yeah, that'll do damage, so we wouldn't be able to do the quest anyway. Occupied, don't sack it, and that completes the province of Middle Tilea. Exotic animal market for the construction cost reduction. We'll immediately grab the slave pits and immediately upgrade the haunted hovels here. Then we'll pop the dredge of the sea for the additional growth, and we're good. Also gotta remember to destroy Pavona and Stretto. Though it doesn't look like they're wanting to try us right now. Ow! Actually, their balance of power is greater than ours. Huh. Interesting, but their strength tank is 26. I guess we should, in theory, have more armies up and running by now, but the early game Vampire Coast economy is relatively weak until we get lots of high-tier main settlements, which have lots of high-tier buried treasure chests, which increase the amount of money we get from all those meat markets and stuff. But anyway, I digress. Let's see what else we have to do in the time that remains. We wanted to get another thing here, I think. Yes, the Marines upkeep. And the rest of the infamy we'll save for a Super Admiral. Or possibly a gunnery crew thing. No, I think we'll go for Super Admiral first. There is definitely some great stuff here as well. And the Powder Monk in particular is pretty darn strong, I believe. Armor-piercing missile damage plus 25% for various gunnery units. Master Gunner range for gunnery units. Great stuff, but stuff that we can, let's say, do without for a little bit of time. Oh. Diplomacy. Well, let's take a quick look. No, we're still good, okay. For a second I was like, oh no, I've forgotten it all again, as in all the diplomacy that I was supposed to do, but apparently not. Hidden fences, I'd love to upgrade you, but we need... well, we need cash. And cash we don't have. Cash for recruitment of stuff in our second army. I mean, I guess you could recruit some zombie-powered gunnery mob bombers. They're still very cheap to recruit, and will still be very effective. 2,000 gold on that, though. Hopefully we can wait a turn. Alright, Maddie. Now let's send you in to deal with Spinny Gork's Chosen. I want to see if it's a full stack. You've already defeated his army, which might mean it's worth the just of an honor result, but depending what's in the army, might fight it again. I think it's the exact same forces, isn't it? Get your Inspiring Presence, and Vampire Fleet Captain Henrietta Booty Catcher in this army temporarily. You can get Denizens of the Deep. And lastly, Bootstrap Biltong, you are in this army permanently, especially with the Master of the Black Arts that you have here. You can get All Hands Fire. Got to get that range up and running for this fairly range-heavy army as well. Go.
Strike now, crewman.
These guys still like us reasonably well. Pyrrhic Victory, and they are damaged, but yep, it'll lose a bunch of our units to this. Alright, I think this one we can freely do manually. That ain't worth our time, yeah? I also wanna... I was thinking about where we're gonna put our deck droppers, but they won't be only in one army. There'll be several that will make use of them. Anyway, start deployment. Mortars will now be outranged by the enemy artillery. Actually, not quite. Got pretty good range. Alright, so we'll set up on an angle like this, just to screw with their army a little bit. Then we'll put the Sirens out here, because we'll inevitably get charged by the enemy. Not the gunnery mobs, but you guys, which will be doing most of the damage in. I want the handguns to go after the boar boys, and then the bombers to go after the enemy artillery. I'd like you guys to be in front right here. All three of you here. You're all going to summon as needed. In fact, let's move you into different places so that you can summon on different sides of the map, and then you stay together with the gunners. Like so. Alright, hopefully I got this more or less right. And then we have the one deckhands mob, which can be in the center. Maybe don't block this guy, though, so that he can still fire. And a couple gunnery mobs here. And back here. Animated hulks guard the flank, and I believe that's all. I want to turn off skirmish mode off everybody. Alright, Looks good to me. Start battle, away you go. You guys go for this rock lobber. You guys go for these orc boys. Now we should be okay. Alrighty. Let's reposition you. Sirens, get ready to move on in. I would like you to summon a... not a gunnery mob, a regular mob. Gonna annoy them. Good. Good, that all looks good, and everybody's doing their job. I don't think I'm gonna speed this up just because there's potential to take damage here. And I'd rather not take said damage. I'll send one of the handgunners over to the side though, just so they can hopefully dish out additional damage to the enemy. As in these guys, as we can't, or probably don't want to leave the sirens alone. They'll be able to do a decent amount of damage, but nonetheless. Alright, good. Good. And I'm pretty sure the enemy's in low vigor. They were in speedy stance, so we should be okay. You guys are gonna get gunned down, I don't doubt. Handgunners, fire away. Yeah, we're good. Alrighty, which means we can summon the denizens of the deep here, and I want you guys all attacking this, so you guys move up on the flank and forward. Alright, first of the enemy rock lobbers is nearly dead. Let's switch the mortars to fire on you. And you. How are we doing otherwise? Pretty okay. Let's summon another zombie blob here. And bombs away. Very nice, very nice. And we don't have enough mana for denizens of the deep alas, but oh well. Alright, you guys reposition yourselves. And the battle should be just about ours. Ooh, these guys got through. They ignored the bombers. Okay, well, good job to them, I guess. Alright. Artillery, switch fire. You guys fire upon the rock lobbers. You guys go after those trolls. And I don't really care about the zombie-powered deckhands mob because we're replacing it with the gunnery mob. And oh, I was going to send the animated hulks for the trolls, but they never showed up on this flank. Well, my bad. I guess we didn't really need them, but... you know what? You can charge this unit of orc boys. I guess it's going after... one of you. We should also heal up the sirens. Alright. And we should be more or less good. Just got a few more units to shatter here. Are those trolls out of here now? And this is the summoned deckhands mob, so we don't care about it. Sirens are still effectively at full HP. And doing a great job. We should also target the mortars at the runners so that they shatter and don't come back. But it looks like they're doing okay. And maybe send a couple units to the flanks here so that they can fire into these units. Handgunners, fire on this blob of biggins. And a couple more hits and the army will be done. There we go, they're turning now, or at least the boar boys are turning, and oh, the enemy lord is still alive. Alright, all three of you go kill the lord. I actually expected him to be dead by now. Alright, we can also send you guys to get after the lord. He doesn't have magical damage. That doesn't matter what he has because the battle's over. Lovely. Alright, we don't need to chase now, we don't. And when we take 72 losses, barely anything, and pretty much only on that one unit of zombie pirate deckhands mob that was going to be sacrificed anyway, but hey, it lives for now. And we'll continue doing so until we can kill it off in a glorious last stand. Or, you know, just delete it because I get tired of it surviving against all odds. We are going to heal up to full. Or, now we need the money. We need the money. I'd love to heal, but we do have casualty or punishment rate. Anyway, Boys of the Forbidden Coast destroyed. Maddie, keep moving up. We also got a Scroll of Lycos, which means we can take out said scroll, Earthing Rod and Scroll of Lycos, fuse them into an Armor of Fortune. Nice fusion. Alrighty, we should also give Aranessa that Talisman of Preservation. She is the legendary lord. And she deserves nice things. Alright, Talisman of Endurance can go to somebody else. A lord or a hero, I guess it don't matter all that much. We should also give this Bloodied Banner of Slayers to somebody. But this feels like it'll probably go to one of our Depth Guard. Nobody else would really benefit from it that much. I guess we could give it to... Actually, I wouldn't replace anything here. So no. Aranessa, you're fine as you are. Alrighty, well, with that, I think we are pretty much out of time, so I think this is going to be a... Oh, Terran, haven't upgraded you. I wanted money for the recruitment, but there's still too much stuff in terms of our territory to upgrade. But anyway, as I was saying, I'm going to call the episode here. Next time we will destroy Aremos for good. And, we have to go all the way up to... No, this is Miragliano, so they have 2 territories left. Yes? No, 1. Alright, we'll destroy them. Probably followed by looping back around through Pavona and Stretto. I just don't really want to leave them back here. We will probably not yet declare war on Ironbrow's expedition, but it depends. Might be a decent time to knock them out before they get any more elite units, though I'm a little bit wary of Miragliano getting conquered by the Skaven, which will be annoying because we want the entire territory ourselves. And unfortunately, it looks like the Ramtep dynasty needs to be destroyed so that they don't have our stuff, so there will be a little bit of undead on undead action in our future. And not of the Vampire Coast versus Vampire Coast type. Anyway, more time to come. We'll get our 3rd army started next time. Hopefully I'll get a few more names in there, as well as we ran out of time before I got to this time around. Stay tuned for more Saltspite. Don't forget to leave a like and comment, especially to the threshold for the hour episode. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.